Kitana is one of the most beloved characters in the Mortal Kombat series, easily in the top 10. In fact, even though Sonya Blade was the first lady of Mortal Kombat, I would argue that Kitana is more popular, and I think many fans watching would agree with me. Kitana is very popular among the community, which is why today's video is gonna be hilarious, because the writers treat Kitana like trash. And I'm not joking, you won't believe your ears during this video, because in nearly every game, Kitana is either captured, mind-controlled, or dies, and sometimes all three in the same game. It's honestly hilarious how terribly the writers treat Kitana, despite her being a top 10 character. Everyone loves her, and yet she's treated so badly. Kitana is a perpetual damsel in distress, not just in the stories, but also from the writers themselves. Even in the more recent games, when you know the writers are trying to be nicer to Kitana, she's still either getting captured, or dying, or being mind-controlled, even in the more recent games, where she actually does a good amount of stuff. So alright, there's your hook. In today's video, we're going to rank Kitana in every single game based on what she does in the story. I've already made 2 videos like this for Scorpion and Sub-Zero if you want to check those out after watching today's video. Real quick, a massive thank you to everyone for supporting my recent videos so greatly. There's always tons of likes and a lot of views. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like on it as well. Without any further ado, let's begin. Starting off with Mortal Kombat 2, because Kitana is actually absent in the first game because she wasn't invented yet. However, for a fun fact, there were plans to include her in the game somehow in the earlier drafts of the story, but over time Mortal Kombat 1's plot got changed a lot. Kitana had a different name and was actually Shang Tsung's daughter or something close to that, but all of that was scrapped. Kitana got a new name in Mortal Kombat 2 and made her debut appearance. Kitana starts off working for Shao Kahn as a high-tier assassin before learning that her parents were the original rulers of Edenia before Shao Kahn took over by force. After learning this, she plans on betraying Shao Kahn but gets confronted by Mileena, who turns out to not be her sister like Kitana thought for many years. Instead, she's a messed up clone, and it's loosely implied that Mileena was always meant to be a countermeasure who could kill Kitana if she ever betrayed Shao Kahn and then replace her as the new princess, since Mileena looks nearly identical to Kitana. However, Mileena loses to Kitana and is actually killed too. Yeah, she dies in her debut appearance. And according to History Behind the Warrior, killing Mileena gets Kitana captured, but she quickly escapes to Earthrealm later on. However, there is some debate if Kitana did get captured and then escape, or just escape period. So let me know in the comments what you think, but for today's video, I'm putting her in the captured tier. But thankfully, Kitana's not captured for long, because at the very start of Mortal Kombat 3, she escapes to Earthrealm and joins the good guys. Soon afterwards, Kitana learns that her mother, Sindel, has been revived by Shao Kahn and was brainwashed into working for him, so she teams up with Jade, her lifetime best friend, and actually manages to free Sindel from the mind control, and now she joins the good guys too. So overall, I would argue that MK3 Kitana had a pretty big impact on the story, and according to History Behind the Warrior, after Shao Kahn gets defeated by Liu Kang, he retreats to Outworld, where he gets defeated again by Kitana fighting with Sindel and Jade. In other words, they free Edenia from Shao Kahn's clutches, which is another massive W. Real quick, I wanted to shout out my comic book because there's only 5 days left to order, and I'm sweetening the deal. Any physical purchase gets you a free poster of Ace in her swimsuit. That's right. And if our crowdfund reaches $2,000, I'll sign every single one. That's right. Just $10 gets you a physical comic, a digital copy of that comic, and now a free poster as well, autographed by yours truly. This Indiegogo campaign has variant covers that will never be available again. Like this swimsuit cover looks really amazing, right? Ace is looking pretty hot. And then cover B has her superhero persona. Yeah, I love this design. Our artist did a fantastic job. This comic book really is amazing, and if you want all 3 covers, you can order the triple pack, which gives you a bonus poster for free, an exclusive poster by the way, that will never be available anywhere else. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. This Indiegogo in general is so awesome, but there's only 5 days left to order, so you want to act soon. Click that link down below and get yourself an awesome comic today. Now on to Mortal Kombat 4, or actually Mortal Kombat Gold, because Kitana is actually missing from Mortal Kombat 4, but then the Gold expansion happened. For anyone not aware, Mortal Kombat Gold is basically Mortal Kombat 4, but with more characters. It's an expansion before DLCs were a thing. And in Mortal Kombat Gold, Kitana is busy trying to fix Edenia, and is actually making good progress until Tanya joins her ranks. Yeah, otherwise known as the biggest traitor in Mortal Kombat history. She opens a portal for Shinnok, and his armies invade Edenia, destroying it all over again. And guess who gets captured? Kitana. Yep, As mentioned earlier, she gets captured a lot in these games. However, Kitana escapes pretty quickly because she has experience in that field. However, she gets confronted by Mileena, who was actually revived by Shinnok. It's round 2, baby, and Mileena loses again. Yeah, massive L. Kitana does not kill her this time though, and instead traps her because that's way safer in the Mortal Kombat universe. A dead person can be revived, so imprisoning them instead is actually a safer option. Overall, I would say that Mortal Kombat Gold Kitana is quite active. So next up is Deadly Alliance, and in this game Kitana battles Outworld after learning that Shao Kahn is still alive somehow after the events of Mortal Kombat 3. It's a gruesome battle, but Shao Kahn never gets captured and Goro dies. Soon afterwards, Kitana learns that Shao Kahn was assassinated by the Deadly Alliance, which makes her happy until she learns Liu Kang died the same way. Then Kitana gets angry and vows to defeat the Deadly Alliance and avenge Liu Kang. And that gets her killed too. Yeah, which would be really embarrassing, except that everyone dies in Deadly Alliance for the most part. Because for anyone watching who's not aware, Deadly Alliance is one of those rare games where the bad guys just win. Like straight up, there is no happy ending. So fast forward to Deception, where Onaga revives Kitana and mind controls her to work for him. Yep, here we go baby, it's the debut of Kitana's mind control. This happens to her in a lot of games, fair warning. Kitana gets mind controlled many a time. In fact, she spends most of this game mind controlled as well, but thankfully Sindel, with the help of Ermac, is able to free her. Oh, and also Liu Kang, who's a spirit in this game because he died in the previous one. Liu Kang is actually the one who frees Kitana from the mind control. If you look at the background, you can see it happening. And afterwards, Kitana actually becomes an anchor being for Liu Kang because he's still in spirit form, and without attaching himself to a body, he can't stay on Earth. And thankfully, he and Kitana love each other, so the anchor actually works and Liu Kang can stay on Earth. Next up, let's talk about Shaolin Monks, where Kitana is mind controlled again. Yep, it's gonna keep happening, people, strap in. Overall, Kitana doesn't do too much in this story. She's mainly a damsel in distress, but Liu Kang and Kung Lao do free her from the mind control, and she helps a little bit after that. She even confronts Mileena in a side quest, but doesn't win. She gets thrown into a portal, which is so embarrassing and funny. Next up is Armageddon, baby, the original finale, and Kitana actually knows that Armageddon is coming because Blaze told her in a previous game. So she assembles her forces and gets the army ready to help save Earthrealm. And in the original timeline, Taven succeeds and saves the day for everybody. But then NetherRealm changed all that in Mortal Kombat 9. Instead, Shao Kahn actually defeats Blaze and gets all the power, and also Kitana died somewhere off screen, which is very bleak, but thankfully Raiden restarts everything and we get a new story for Kitana. She repeats many beats from the original games, although she beats Shang Tsung in this new timeline, which is amazing, but soon after she's captured by Shao Kahn and he says, "Bring Mileena to me, I prefer this new daughter." Thankfully, Liu Kang defeats Shao Kahn, frees Kitana, and she does some good guy stuff off screen for a bit until dying at the hands of Sindel. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Kitana dies and is captured in the same game. Hey, at the very least, she wasn't mind controlled. Oh wait, I forgot about Mortal Kombat vs. DC. So in this game, Kitana gets brainwashed and captured and does a bit of fighting. However, she gets knocked unconscious in the final battle. All of this stuff happens. Next up is Mortal Kombat X, where Kitana spends the entire game being dead. And I'm not joking, she's an evil revenant the entire game. Which, when you think about it, means that Kitana is captured and mind controlled at the same time, because revenants are actually evil bodies that have the original soul stuck inside of them. Which means the real Kitana is in there somewhere, but the evil body is doing commands from Shinnok and Quan Chi against Kitana's will, so she's both dead and mind controlled and captured in the same game when you think about it. Next up is Mortal Kombat 11, where Kitana honestly does some really cool stuff. She leads an entire rebellion against Shao Kahn, who's been given lots of resources by Kronika, and yet Kitana still overthrows him by getting new armies on her side, like the Tarkatans for example. And then afterwards, she becomes the new Khan. Yeah, really big things happening for Kitana in this game. Then she gets captured in the aftermath. Yup, because Shang Tsung goes back in time and messes everything up. Now thankfully Liu Kang restarts the timeline again, so that's good news, but still, Kitana was captured and arguably the game she had the biggest impact in. And I just find that entire situation so ironic. Next up, let's talk about Onslaught, a game that I normally skip because I've never played it and know very little about it. However, according to the fourth snake, Kitana gets mind controlled in this game. So you know we gotta talk about it. Wait a minute. How many times? She gets mind controlled how many times? 3 times in one game. That's right, in Mortal Kombat Onslaught, Kitana gets mind controlled 3 times. How funny is that? Alright, but now finally let's end this video with Mortal Kombat 1. In this game, Kitana does a decent amount of stuff, however, she never gets her own chapter, which is super rare. And also, on top of that, Kitana gets captured by Shinnok's amulet at one point, so up there she goes on the tier list. Overall, Kitana is active, but also she does get captured at one point, so we gotta include that. Alright everyone, there you have it, Kitana's entire life story in the Mortal Kombat series. As mentioned earlier at the very start of this video, she gets captured, mind controlled, and killed many times, which is shocking for the most beloved woman in Mortal Kombat. Even more popular than Sonya, yet the writers treat her pretty bad. Leave a like on this video on Kitana's behalf. She really does deserve it for how badly the series treats her. Obviously, she's very popular in the community. Everyone loves Kitana. Me, you, we all love Kitana. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters. So finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.